It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 11th of July. I'm Michael Groff. Another day with record or near record heat here in the valley, but we do have a chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain and maybe some gusty winds and blowing dust here across the lower deserts for later this afternoon and into the evening hours. Now, rain chances look to increase at least somewhat as we get into this weekend, and that should drive temperatures down slightly, at least away from this record territory. But, of course, the usual questions as to where, when, how much precipitation there will be, and how much lower those temperatures actually get. Well, let's talk about it. We'll get into here with the almanac from yesterday. Oh, we did it again. 115 degrees the afternoon high. So we tied a record there. 92 was the morning low. We tied a record warm low temperature. 107 and 84 the averages for this time of year. And as we take a look outside right now, just before 10 o'clock, mostly sunny, 102 degrees already at Sky Harbor. Dew point 56, 21% the humidity, the wind's light, the barometer steady. The upper level weather pattern across the nation, and it's the same old story, right? You've got troughing over the Great Lakes, parts of the east, out here in the west. High pressure continues to be the dominant feature. It is very, 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 very slowly moving to the north and northeast. The center of that high was near Las Vegas earlier this morning. It's now continuing to drift ever so slightly to the north and east. Slowly but surely as that happens, the flow aloft will start to turn out of the east. Today it's more out of the northeast, so that should take those storms that develop over the higher terrain and push them southwestward toward the lower deserts, bringing in some gusty winds and blowing dust in here. Unfortunately, the lower levels of the atmosphere are fairly dry, and so I really don't anticipate any meaningful chance of rain in here for this afternoon. The watch warning map, the story out here in the west continues to be the heat, although not as much so over the Pacific Northwest, but from the Great Basin southward and from the valleys of California southward here into the desert southwest, it is still a major issue. We have an excessive heat warning for Phoenix, and that is in effect through 8 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, those heat warnings include places like Yuma, Gila Bend, Kingman, Las Vegas, and all through much of California. We're just roasting out here in the west. Convective outlook for today. Risk of severe storms over the lee of the Rockies and out into the western high plains. And here in Arizona, look at this, a marginal risk of severe storms for us here in Phoenix. Those areas in the darker green. And then you've got the standard slight risk, level 2 out of 5, across southeast Arizona, Tucson up to around Casa Grande, Nogales, Benson, and obviously down towards Sierra Vista. And in that slight risk, of course, a slightly better chance for those gusty winds. And again, for a storm to be severe, what we're talking about with this graphic, severe storms, you need winds 58 miles per hour in speed, whether by gust or sustained wind, or hail reaching the ground that's an inch in diameter or greater. Now, we don't anticipate large hail from storms, but gusty winds, severe winds possible for a good portion of south central and especially southeast Arizona this afternoon. And obviously when that happens, the big issue will be that threat of blowing dust. All right, the precipitation outlook valid through Thursday morning of next week. And unfortunately, these numbers have come down, at least in our part of the state, a little bit. Rain amounts here in Phoenix around 1/10 of an inch. Now, obviously, any storm can produce a significant amount of rain. But this map represents what will happen on an average basis. We could see 1 to 2 inches across the rim country, parts of southeast Arizona along the international border. Again, more than 2 inches possible in a few spots over the next week. Monsoon moisture increasing, but how much of that will be realized here in south central Arizona? That's the question. Let's try to find some answers right now as we get to the models. Take a look at things. This is the GFS, the 12Z run. It's valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Ridging continues to drift to the east and northeast. Here over the southwest, flow aloft more out of the northeast today. Some slight increase in moisture has taken place, and what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today. Mostly sunny the rest of this morning, partly cloudy this afternoon. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms develop over the higher terrain and try to push in toward the lower deserts. The net result of that with somewhat drier air down here at the surface will be, we do anticipate storms to develop, but really we're more concerned about gusty winds. The lower levels of the atmosphere are pretty dry, high-based convection for us, and that just means we look at on the soundings, we look at the D-cape values, that downdraft, downshear cape, and and that just means really gusty winds, maybe even a microburst or two. We're going to watch for that today. And again, blowing dust, a possibility this afternoon. Now, not going to say that's going to happen for sure, but be aware of it, especially as we get toward the later afternoon hours. Watch to the north and east for storms to develop. We expect 2 clusters of storms, really, one along the rim and then over parts of southeast Arizona, descending out of Gila County toward parts of Pinal, Graham County, and ultimately Pima. And so Tucson and Casa Grande, the dust corridor of I-10, watch for that too. All right, high temperatures this afternoon, still hot, 112 to 117. More records are possible. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, some gusty winds and blowing dust in the evening, lows low 80s to low 90s. Tomorrow, it's more the same. Sunny in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon, widely scattered showers and storms over the higher terrain. An isolated storm could get down here into the lower deserts tomorrow evening. We don't anticipate that as a significant threat, but at least a 20% chance we could see some measurable rain, again, mainly for the East Valley, but hey, it's at least a possibility. Now, as we go into the weekend, we do anticipate deeper moisture coming in here on Saturday, with the ridge sitting to the north of us, more of an easterly flow. There's a little caveat here. There's a bit of dry air that's gotten entrenched in the flow that's going to drift in here from New Mexico into southern Arizona on Friday and into at least the first part of Saturday. And lower levels of the atmosphere will be more humid, but the upper levels will be slightly drier. So there's kind of going to be a cap here in the atmosphere. If we can break that, though, we could get some showers and storms to develop on Saturday afternoon. We're still going to keep rain chances in the forecast. Just know that it doesn't look to be a great day for storms here in the lower deserts. Still, slight chance we could see a shower storm. High temperatures fall off a couple of degrees at least with more clouds and higher humidity, but that old misery index will be up because humidity's up. So highs around 110. Let's go to Sunday. More clouds come in the mix. This is probably our best chance of showers and storms. It's not a great chance. This is not going to be a day with widespread storms, but scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms will occur. Winds aloft do increase with an upper low that sits east of us. It doesn't look like that low is going to get quite as close as we anticipated, but still stronger winds aloft, cooler air aloft. More moisture around, so at least a decent chance of showers and storms on Sunday, and those storms could be strong, maybe severe. Gusty winds would be the primary threat for many storms that occur on Sunday, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours here. High temperatures back off to around 102 to 107. More or less the same story on Monday. If Sunday is more active, Monday would be less so, but we'll still go with a chance of showers and storms in here, about a 30% chance. High temperatures on Monday, again, 102 to 107. Tuesday, it looks like some drier air might start to work in once again. And if that occurs, then yes, obviously we'll see more of a widely scattered shower and thunderstorm event across the higher terrain and only isolated storms here in the lower deserts. We'll keep a slight chance going, but temperatures might start to bump back up as that ridge repositions back toward the west. Same thing on Wednesday, just an isolated shower or storm in here, mostly sunny, hot. Highs creeping back toward 110, maybe even just slightly above 110. A week from today, Thursday the 18th. Now you see high pressure sits to the north of us across Utah and eastern Nevada, easterly flow, but the ridge is strengthening again, and that's going to set the stage for warmer air aloft. And unfortunately, shower and storm activity would be around, but limited. Just probably widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms, and only isolated storms here in the lower deserts. And high temperatures, again, probably between about 109 to 114, if that's right. And then look what happens as we go out 10 days. This is Saturday, the 20th. All right, a few interesting things here. Number one, the GFS has the old 6,000-meter ridge, 600 decameters, sitting over northern Nevada, of all places. And if that's right, first of all, you talk about heat. The Pacific Northwest, the Great Basin, and up into the Treasure Valley of Idaho would be absolutely sizzling. We'd be talking about record heat if this is right. Now, that ridge is pretty far from us, at least the center of it. Now, we're still cooking under here, okay? No question about it, but the flow aloft is northeasterly, and the GFS wants to bring some type of weak low around this ridge into the southwest. If that happens, scattered to numerous showers and storms will be with us, nearly statewide. coming off the rim and into the lower deserts. I mean, we could have a pretty active day despite the fact that we have a really powerful ridge up across the Pacific Northwest and the Great Basin. I tell you, this is not a scenario that's set in stone. This is 10 days out. This is likely to change between now and then, but the heat probably will return over much of the West way out here toward the end of next week and the following weekend. That's one thing that we can say for sure. How it plays out for monsoon moisture, well, the GFS has a very interesting scenario. Not sure if I buy it, but an interesting scenario nonetheless, which could lead to some very active weather. Rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble out through the 25th of the month. The mean is continuing to be interesting here. The GFS and the European are pretty much night and day. The mean here is almost an inch. European, barely over 1/10 of an inch. Whereas every member in the GFS ensemble has measurable rain over the next 2 weeks. Maybe half here on the European do. So obviously, we'll see which one wins. But so far, the European ensemble has been the better of the two guidance products here this monsoon season. Looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, ridiculously hot again today and tomorrow. And realistically speaking, I do believe we're going to cool off this weekend somewhat, maybe below 110. The NBM might be slightly skewed warmer, but it's not like it's going to just suddenly cool off and we're going to be way below average, I don't think, on any given day, not for a while. So we're going to keep with these very hot temperatures through the period. And that's it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. And if you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video like Clayton did yesterday. Really appreciate that, Clayton. Thank you so much. And make those monetary contributions, or you can donate to me directly via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is the email address. That is groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and that Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, her blogs, her videos, everything linked up down in the description, as is our streaming station called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that, so give that a listen as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. And you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.